Hello, people, and welcome once again to another episode of the Keeper Cast, your go to podcast for keeping you up to date with everything related to our protectors of peace, the Dragon Keepers. And guys, I have bad news. Earlier today, it was announced that Blue Keeper had unfortunately passed away. News is that one of the Ranger Cadet bases was under attack by rogue monsters, and Blue Keeper, being the closest one there, swooped in to try to eliminate all the monsters there, but they kind of overpowered him and used some kind of nasty tactics to get the jump on him, which led to his untimely demise. But his death wasn't in vain, as he was able to sacrifice himself to protect the Ranger cadets who were there, really looking out for the next generation. A real hero until the end. And guys, I'm gonna be real with you right now. Like, when I heard this news, it really shook me to my core, Like, Blue Keeper was my favorite. Like, I looked up to him. He was a role model to me, and just finding out that he went out in such unhanded ways really boiled my blood. Like, I felt really heartbroken. I'm still reeling from it. And if I feel this way, I can only imagine how the Dragon Keepers themselves feel. Like, this was their comrade they fought with for years, and just hearing him go like that out of nowhere, it's really sad, and I'm sure Red Keeper must be absolutely devastated by this. Well, may Blue Keeper rest in peace. And this really puts into perspective just how much more dangerous and smarter the monsters are getting. Like they've got a lot more audacity now. Like just a couple days ago, one of them tried to invade the Red Ranger garrison base, and it was insane. Like, where are these monsters getting these ideas from? And even sometime last week, another monster showed up on the streets, but thankfully Red Keeper was able to swoop in and eliminate it before any victims were claimed. Like, really, our rangers are really working hard to keep the planet safe. And then there are people out there who are claiming all of this is staged. Like, are you serious? Like, think about it, right? They claim stuff like, oh, the monsters and the Rangers are in cahoots, working together to put up this farce just so the Rangers can continue to be popular. Like, do you hear how stupid that sounds? The monsters are the bad guys. The Rangers are the good guys. Why would the good guys and the bad guys work together? Like, I see no benefit to this. And those of you that say it doesn't seem to make any sense why the monsters only apparently show up on Sundays for the Sunday showdowns, do you guys actually think, like, do you actually use your brains? There is a reason why they only show up on Sundays. Well, first off, they might be scared. And if you actually had observation skills, like, I don't know what they're teaching you guys in school today these days, but if you actually had observation skills, you'll notice that the monsters only ever spawn directly under their fortress. And what is directly under their fortress? The stadium. You may think this is just a normal stadium, but I'm pretty sure this is a monster containment zone where to keep the monsters in and prevent casualties as well as collateral damage. Because trust me, these monsters are very crafty. Any small slip up and they could escape and create tons of property damage. Like, have you guys actually lost people to these monsters? Like, have you actually faced some serious monster attack? No, you haven't. So maybe get off your computer screens and go out and touch grass. Like last week, right, when the Ultra Tiger showed up to fight the Dragon Keepers, which was probably one of the strongest monsters they've faced so far, he threatened to turn all the animals into striped animals. When I heard that, I was shaking in my boots. Like, I have a dog, right? She's the love of my life. Like, I love my dog, right? And imagining her as a striped animal, it brought me to my knees. I was scared for my life in that stadium. And people are out there having the audacity to say it's staged. Like, they really didn't see that fight with Ultra Tiger. Like, that creature transformed into a truck and ran over the Dragon Keepers. A freaking truck. Do you know how dangerous that is? Like, that attack was so devastating that Red Keeper suffered some serious injuries from it, which is why when he tried to fight that monster on the roof of the Red Garrison building, he was kind of sluggish. Like, you could see it, but no, these people would rather choose to call it fake. And mind you, these are the same people still being protected by our noble Dragon Keepers. Like, it's just so ungrateful. Like, I'm sorry I sound so heated, but I just can't stand when people are so ungrateful. And the Dragon Keepers deserve all the praise they get because they are doing way more work than the government. Like, what's the government trying to do to take down that giant fortress? We don't see the Air Force doing anything, but the Dragon Keepers are able to keep them at bay and protect us all the while still juggling their own personal lives. Like, honestly, People are just really inconsiderate on the internet. But hopefully, all of you listening in aren't like those idiots who think all of that is staged. Which is why I'm glad to announce that this episode is sponsored by the Ranger Force. Looking to join the fight against the evil monsters that threaten humanity? Want to do your part to keep the Earth safe? Sign up to the Ranger Force now and become a cadet. If you train hard, climb the ranks, and fight against the monsters that threaten us, maybe one day you too might become the very dragon keepers who protect us. Head on over to the Ranger HQ near you to register now. Huge thanks again to the Ranger Force for sponsoring this episode. But you want to know what I hate more than conspiracy theorists? People who want peace with monsters. Like, let that sink in, right? The monsters who descended down from space to invade and enslave us, you want to have peace with that. The monsters who have caused a lot of death and destruction in the 13 years that they've been around, you want peace with that. Like, are you serious right now? It is completely impossible for us to ever have peace with monsters. And for you to want something like this shows you've never actually felt the real threat of monsters. Have you actually ever seen the destruction they've caused? Were you born in the last 13 years to actually witness the evil these monsters have committed? They've massacred churches, they've massacred homes, they've destroyed complete neighborhoods. And you want peace with that. Honestly, I think some of you are just really privileged and actually re-educate yourself on what these monsters actually are. Because there is no way in this timeline that we will ever have peace with monsters. It's either they go or we go. Do you understand what that means? If we were to ever get peace with them, they killed Blue Keeper. They killed Blue Keeper and you want peace with that. This isn't some kind of anime where you just use the power of friendship to talk to them and everything is fine and dandy. It's not like they can bring back the dead. So you guys should really change the way you perceive these monsters, because honest to God, they are nothing but evil. And the sooner the Dragon Keepers are able to take care of them completely, the better. I feel like the reason why they can't really completely wipe out the monsters is because of how they're immortal and how there seems to be an infinite number of them, which is why they keep coming down every Sunday for 13 whole years. The Dragon Keepers are really trying. Honestly, you guys should respect them some more. So which is why I think it's absurd for you to want peace with these monsters. It would throw away all the sacrifices, all the fighting the Dragon Keepers have done for these past years down the drain. It would just mean they are workers for nothing. That's not fair to them. That is really not fair to the Dragon Keepers. You guys need to really re-educate yourself and maybe actually talk to real people that have felt the threat of monsters, because there is no way we're ever having peace with them. Anyway, that's it for this episode of KeeperCast. Sorry if I sounded a bit too heated today. I'm still processing the death of Blue Keeper. He really meant a lot to me. But yeah, once again, thanks to the Ranger Force for sponsoring this video. I really hope you guys have learned something and changed your perspectives on the way you perceive the monsters and the Dragon Keepers, because honestly, they're doing more than enough for us. So as always, I have been your host, Bread. Stay toasty and never stop believing in the Dragon Keepers.